Hey, this is Ray Evangelista with Aqua Clean Power Washing out of New Jersey. Posting this video regarding something that Ron Musgrave had shared the other day. He was talking about people plugging in these new pumps that are being used, the booster pumps, into outlets and the potential for people getting electrocuted. So I want to talk to you guys today about some things that can be used to help keep you safe. All right. Now, it also can be used for vacuum reclaim systems. I personally don't have a booster pump, but basically anything that I'm plugging in on the outside of a house, I'm using one of these GFCI outlet protectors. I have a script here, so you have to pardon me for keep looking down at the script because I want to make sure I got everything for you guys, so at least I'd be thorough. So GFCI outlets are designed to basically stop you from being electrocuted. And for those of you guys that have seen those old videos about like a radio falling in a bathtub or something like that and people getting electrocuted, that's what prompted them to create these. And what happens is whenever it senses any electricity leaving the wire between the positive and the neutral and going to ground, it assumes that the person at the other end of the wire is actually getting electrocuted and it needs to turn off the power, and that's what it basically does. So the next question is going to be, how do you know if they actually work? Because these outlets could have been outside of a house for 20 or 30 years, and you don't know if it still works. So my advice to you would be for all of you guys to test those outlets with something called a GFCI outlet tester. And you can buy these at Home Depot for about $7, $8 each. And you can also spend $45 if you want. Some people always insist upon having to have the best and spending a small fortune in order to do that. But that's not necessary. I use these $7 ones and they work perfectly fine. And my advice to everybody would be to buy like 2 of them and throw them inside of your truck. One inside the glove box and one that they'll use. And let them know at the ones inside the glove box, because if the primary one stops working, they might just say, we're just going to go with it today, and the next thing you know, you might have a dead person on your hands. So just food for thought. It's always good to have the second one and to train your employees on those things too. Let's see what else I got here. And one of the primary things that these GFC outlet testers do is they actually validate to see if the GFC outlet is working correctly. So you have 2 different things on here. You have a test button here that actually tests the GFCI outlet to trip the GFCI outlets, and that's part of the outlet. And then you actually have the reset button on it, which gives you the power back again. And with these testers, what you do is you plug them in, and this one has the 2 orange lights here, which means that this one is wired correctly. If anything else came up, that means that there could be a wiring issue with it. In order to see if the GFC outlet is working, they have a red button on top of it. You just press that button. And if it's working, that will actually trip it, and you'll know that the outlet's functioning correctly. So you just press the reset button then, and then you can test it again if you want. So this way we know this one is definitely working. All right, and you always want to make sure that you're checked to make sure that everything is wired correct first, because if it's not wired correct, then the GFC outlet's probably not going to work, and it's not going to do what it's supposed to do, which means that you're not protected. Okay, let's see what else I have for you guys here. Okay, now for me, I find myself sometimes using the garage outlets in people's houses rather than using the GFCI outlets on the exterior of the house. Simple reason being is sometimes the interior garage outlets are wired for 20 amp versus 15 amps on the exterior outlets. And the difference would be your vacuum reclaim system or your booster pump possibly tripping because there's not enough amperage in the breaker. So what they have are these testers here that you can get. This is from Home Depot. It's made by Defiant, and it's basically a portable GFCI outlet. You just have to make sure that the outlet is functioning and that you have the ground in place on your extension cords. If you don't have that ground, just so you know, you've just wasted an extension cord if you're one of the people that likes to pull these out, because now you're not protected in case you need that ground. So, but you just use these, and it works the exact same way. If you look at what we have here, we have a reset button and a test button, and it works the exact same way. And then you can plug your tester in and do the exact same testing by plugging it in here. Additionally, this particular one actually has 3 outlets on it, so you have the ability to plug in more than one device. This works really well with your vacuum reclaim systems, because this way you can plug in the pumps, and then you can actually plug in the pump and then actually the vacuum portion into one extension cord. All right, just give me a second here to see what I have for you guys. So a couple things about extension cords really quick that I wanted to cover with you. Like I said before, if you're pulling the grounds off of them, you have an unprotected extension cord, and it's basically garbage. I also recommend buying the heavier gauge cords, because of when you go over a longer distance, like 100 feet, then you're basically, the thicker the wire is, the less resistance you have, and there's a lower probability for actually tripping the outlet. So it's always good to have the heavier gauge cords. And for 50 bucks at Home Depot to get the really heavy gauge $100 one, as a 100-foot one, you're not going to go wrong by doing that. And just to cover a couple quick little OSHA facts for you guys, just so you know, anybody that has one employee, basically you are under OSHA rules. At that point, you have to adhere to the OSHA rules if you have one employee. If you're your own employee, you can go jump into a kid's play tub and throw your extension cords in there all day long and do whatever you want for yourself. They won't be able to stop you. But the second you hire one employee, you are now underneath their umbrella, and you have to do what they say for you to do. So again, I don't make the laws, but I really am concerned about people, because I know people are doing things that are endangering themselves and employees. So it'd always be my advice for you guys to always err towards the side of caution. You know, I heard a story going back when I was taking an OSHA class about somebody who had their son working with them, and he got caught in a landslide because they weren't doing what they're supposed to do from a trenching point of view. The guy jumped into a bulldozer, goes to dig the kid out, and then when he's trying to dig the kid out, he actually cut his son's head off. So this is real. It may not be your family members that are working for you, but you really need to treat everybody as if they are. And then down here, what else do I have here? So a couple other rules I have here. If an extension cord gets cut and you actually repair that extension cord, just so you know, according to their rules, you're done. Their rules indicate that it has to maintain the original manufacturer's insulation going down the entire length of the cord. And the second you cut it and start duct taping it, you are now breaking the OSHA rules, and they will fine you for that. An additional thing that a lot of people don't know is that if you run an extension cord through a doorway that actually has a door attached, there's potential that the door could actually be closed on the extension cord. So they have rules against you doing that too. You have to protect the extension cord going through doorways, and if they found you doing that, you might actually get fined for that too. I don't know all their rhymes or reasons for making their rules, but I know one thing: I'm going to do what they say because it's the right thing to do, and just to keep you guys safe and to keep you guys from getting any fines. Generators, just so you know, I know some people are using generators as part of what they're doing too. Generators do not have GFCI outlets built into them, so you have to use these portable ones if you're going to use a generator. So you have to plug those in, so at least you know they're protected. All right, so I hope this video has helped you guys out, and I hope you have a blessed day. Take care. Bye.